Jessica.
I'm Sierra.
And we are from Kool Smiles. So we're here to talk to you about your teeth. Has anybody ever been to Kool Smiles? All right, quite a few. How about the dentist? Who's been to the dentist before? What's the dentist? The person that takes care of your teeth? Yeah, so everybody's been to the dentist?
You sent me 3 times.
You've been to the dentist 3 times?
I've never been to the dentist.
You haven't been to the dentist? You should make an appointment to go see it.
My mom's going to see the medical when I haven't got my teeth cleaned.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, good. So, can anybody tell me how many times a day we're supposed to brush our teeth?
2 or maybe 3 if you're going to the dentist.
Ah, that's a good idea. So at least 2 times, that sounds good, right? Once in the morning and once at night? Yeah? And how long should you brush your teeth when you brush them? How many? 2 minutes, that's right. 2 minutes, twice a day. More than twice a day if you can, that'd be great. And what else are we supposed to do when we brush our teeth? Mouthwash and floss, very good. So we want to floss at least once a day. So we want to brush our teeth in the morning, and then we want to brush our teeth and floss our teeth at night. Does anybody know why we want to floss our teeth at night?
Because food gets stuck in between.
That's right, because food gets stuck in between your teeth, under your gums, and we want to get all those food particles off so that they don't cause cavities. Right. Does anybody know what a cavity is?
It's a tooth that really hurts when it has a prick in it.
It does hurt.
And
That's
it makes
right.
a
It makes a hole. Do we know why we get cavities? You eat too much candy. Yeah.
You don't brush.
You don't brush. That's right. So sugars that get on your teeth, and then if you don't brush them away, then you get a cavity, right? So does anybody know what else causes cavities aside from candy? Coke. There you go. That's what I was looking for. So most people don't know that the main thing that causes cavities nowadays are the things that we drink, right? So who drinks a lot of water here? Very good. Who drinks sodas every day? Nobody?
Zach does.
No? Yeah, sometimes? Sometimes? A little bit sometimes? Maybe like one a day?
I only drink one a day.
Yeah? Yeah, sometimes. So that's good, because we only want to drink Cokes and Gatorades and Kool-Aids. We only want to drink those like once a day, and then drink a lot of water so that we don't have sugars on our teeth all day, right? Okay? So this is what happens when you drink a Coke. So I take a sip of Dr. Pepper. My mouth starts to produce acid, and then that acid starts to eat away at the enamel of my teeth. So if I drink Dr. Pepper all day long, and I keep a Dr. Pepper, and I'm drinking it, I take a drink, and then 30 minutes later I take another drink, and then 30 minutes later I take another drink, my mouth is constantly producing acid, right? Whereas if I'm drinking water that doesn't have any sugars in it, my mouth is not producing acid. Same thing goes for snacks. So say you get home from school and you get a bag of goldfish, and you sit down and you eat all of your goldfish, and you're done with your snack, and then you go play. That's good, because your mouth only had one opportunity to produce acid. Now, if you're eating goldfish for 2 or 3 hours, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to take a handful, and then I come back 15 minutes later and I take another handful, and so on and so forth, your mouth produces acid every time you put something in your mouth, right? And so that's not good for our teeth. So when you drink a soda or when you eat a snack, if you can sit down and do it all in one sitting, and then get up and drink water the rest of the day or the rest of the night, then your mouth will be in good shape, right? Does everybody understand that? Yeah, so what do y'all eat for after school snacks?
Sometimes I eat
Spaghetti? Yeah, that's a good snack.
zucchini bread.
Oh, very nice. Haven't heard that one.
Nutella.
Nutella? Yeah, everybody likes Nutella.
Chex Mix.
Apples, excellent choice. You don't know? What do you eat for an after
The
school?
Chex Mix.
Chex Mix? Very good. Okay.
Plums.
Plums? Very good. So vegetables and fruits are excellent options, right? What do we think are not good after school snacks?
Chips.
Candy.
Chips.
Chips. Chips are okay. You can eat chips. You just, like I said, you don't want to eat them all day long, right? What about gummies, like the fruit snacks? You think that's a good after school snack?
Yeah.
It might taste good, but it's not very good for your teeth. So me give y'all an example. So y'all see this big mouth, right, with all the teeth in it? That's weird, right? So these ones in the very back, you see how they have grooves in the teeth? Huh? No, they don't come out. So run your tongue along the top of your back teeth. What does it feel like? What does it feel like? It feels weird. It feels like there's grooves, right? Like it's all bumpy, kind of like little mountains, right? So when you eat things like gummy snacks or Sour Patch Kids or gummy bears, what happens is those little gummy parts of your snack get smushed down into those grooves, right? And then they're hard to get out. So you're there with like your tongue, like trying to get them out of your teeth, and it's hard, right? So they sit down in those grooves of your teeth and they just produce bacteria and acid. And then they start to eat away at the enamel of your tooth, right? And even when you brush them, it's really hard to get, now on this one it's not so hard because these are big teeth and this is a little toothbrush. But it's really hard on little teeth to get the bristles all the way down in those grooves and get those food particles out, right? So we want to stay away from things that are sticky like caramels and Sour Patch Kids, gummy bears. We want to try and stay away from stuff like that. Every once in a while, of course, it's a good snack. We want to have it, but we don't want to eat it every day, and we don't want to eat it for every snack. You haven't had one in 3 years? Well, that's pretty good. I don't like gummy stuff, so I haven't had one in probably 15 years.
And I just tried a gummy, and I figured out it wasn't even a gummy. It was just a drink, but in the outs, the covering on the drink was just wax.
I've seen those. So we want to make sure that we stay away from stuff like that so that we don't get cavities, okay? So let's see here. Who have I not heard from? I haven't heard from you. You want to come up here for a minute? You have a question? What's your question?
I've already.
Oh, you already answered a question? Okay, how about, have you answered a question? No? Come here for a second. So can you show me how you brush your teeth? So we get the tops, right? Very good. And then we get the front of the teeth. Very nice, very nice. So, perfect. So this is a place that some people forget about a lot. The backs of the front teeth, right? So the back of them here, the back of them here, the inside of the teeth here. So this is a place where we miss a lot, right? So you're brushing your teeth in the morning and you're scrubbing the front of them, but sometimes you forget to scrub the back of them, right? So we have to make sure that we brush every surface of every tooth to prevent cavities. Also, we want to make sure that we are angling the toothbrush down into the gums so that we get what's underneath the gums. So we don't want to brush like this, right? Because what happens if we brush like this?
It hurts. It bleeds.
It bleeds. So you tear your gums up, they get swollen, they get irritated, and we don't want that. So we just want to put it down right along the gum line, and we want to do soft circles. We don't want to scrub them, okay? And you always want to use a soft toothbrush. You don't want to, have you ever had a toothbrush that's like really hard? You don't want to use those. Seems like a good idea because you would think harder the toothbrush cleans the teeth better, but actually it doesn't. It cuts up your gums, it scratches the enamel of your teeth, so we want to stay away from that, okay? So, what we're going to do is, I have this apple here.
Ooh.
Yeah, no apples, because teachers love apples. That's why we brought apples. So the outside of this apple has a skin, right? So a thin outer covering that's protecting the inside of the apple, right? So what happens if we poke a hole in the apple? It bleeds. It gets juice everywhere, right? What do you think is going to happen to this hole over the next couple of hours or next couple of days?
It's going to get yucky and nasty.
It's going to get yucky and nasty. It's going to start to rot away. The inside is going to get soft. It's going to start to turn brown or black on the outside, right? So that's kind of like getting a cavity, right? You get underneath the hard exterior, and then you get into the soft part of your tooth, and then a cavity grows, and it grows, and if you don't take care of it, you have a big hole in your tooth, right? So we're going to leave this up here for y'all so that you can see what happens to that apple. Probably Monday, you'll come back and you'll be like, oh man, that looks awful, right? So what's going on up here? Did I ask you about these eggs yet? Who wants to, can you tell me what's going on with the eggs up here? Right, so your teacher had a very good idea to do this little experiment here. So the egg, not unlike the apple, has something on the outside, the shell, right, that protects the inside of it. Same as your teeth, you have the enamel that protects the inside of your teeth. And then what y'all are doing is you put it in a very sugary drink, especially like the Dr. Pepper, the sweet tea, and it's just sitting there. So all day, that egg is just sitting in those sugars, right? And so we're gonna see what happens. And I think your teacher's gonna take those eggs out on Monday and see what happened to the eggs. So maybe they change colors because they're not being cleaned, so that maybe they're stained, especially from things like coffee. Or maybe even if they're in there long enough and those sugars get at that shell, they could start to eat away at the shell, right? And then it affects the inside of the egg, same way it can affect the inside of your tooth, right?
Explodes.
And then it explodes. That sounds a little bit scary there.
Science does.
Science, yeah, y'all like science?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Miss Menning is your science teacher, right? Yeah, science is a fun subject. So this here I have a couple of things. So this red one, it's like a stoplight, red, yellow, green. So the red one is drinks loaded with added sugar that are not healthy choices and should be avoided. The yellow one is drinks with some added sugars and sweeteners that should only be chosen occasionally. And the green is the healthiest beverages that have no added sugars or artificial sweeteners. So let's do an example. Let's say this low-calorie sports drink. So you have Gatorade, and you get the Gatorade, not regular Gatorade, but you get the low-calorie Gatorade. So what color do you think the Gatorade would fall under?
Yellow.
Yellow, that's right. Because it has some sugars, but it doesn't have an outrageous amount of sugars. So if we look down here at the bottom, so the low-calorie sports drink has 1.5 teaspoons of sugar per 12-ounce serving. So that's not bad, not horrible, right? So let's take a look here. The energy drink. Where do we think the energy drink goes?
Green.
No. Try again.
Yellow.
Almost. Red. So energy drinks have lots and lots of sugars in them. So they are a no-no. We do not want to drink energy drinks, right? Because energy drinks, let's see here, have 12 teaspoons of sugar per 12 ounces. So do y'all know how much an ounce is? Sure, in science, y'all have seen like an ounce of water, right? It's not very much, right? And then you add a teaspoon of sugar into that ounce, right? So you have 12 ounces of water, well, 12 ounces of a fluid with 12 teaspoons of sugar. That's a lot of sugar, so that's really bad for your teeth, okay? What about water? Where do you think water goes? Green, because water has how much sugar in it? Zero. So water is really good for your teeth, okay? So we want to make sure that we remember that and that we're drinking lots of water. I know sometimes it can be boring because water doesn't taste great. I love water. Water is all I drink. I love water.
I like the water here.
You like the water here? Sometimes there's places you don't want to drink the water from. I agree, especially in Wichita Falls. But
I really like the
water is really good for you. And if you get water from the sink, then you get fluoride with it. So they put what's called fluoride in the water, and that's good for your teeth too, right? But even bottled water is really good for your teeth because it doesn't have sugars. There are a couple of things you can get. Y'all have ever seen the little packs of flavoring you can put in the water? So some of those are really good because they don't have sugars in them. Some of them are not so good because they do have sugars. So if you buy those, you want to make sure you get the ones without sugar.
I know why water parks and resorts sell Dasani because it has salt in it, and they want you to keep on buying it. So.
Oh, very smart. I didn't know that. Very smart. So what we're going to do next is we have some papers that we're going to give to Miss Menning to give to y'all. So one of them is a word search, and it has words like floss and plaque and toothbrush on it. So it's just a word search for fun. Y'all can do that on your own time, or if she wants to do it during class, y'all can. And then we're also going to give her this paper here. So it's this big tooth, right? And what we're going to do is, no, you're not going to color it. What you're going to do is if you look at the board right there, she's written the topic down, and it says how to take care of your teeth. So everything that you learned today about brushing and flossing and what to drink and what to eat and how to take care of your teeth, we just want you to write like a little paragraph